And we are back. We are here live on emrhl Radio. It's about 1:15 on Thursday. And as mentioned, we are live here, and usually I record on Wednesday when I do these little podcasts. So I have all the dogs home today. So anything could happen live. If somebody knocks on the door, UPS shows up, mailman, you could hear all the vicious attack dogs in the background going nuts, and there's not much I can do about that during a live show. So just full disclosure, we are live, just in case you hear any background noise. So anyway, yeah, good to be back here on the radio. Good to be back doing other things again. I've been down for 40 days. Yeah, it's been like I've been on an arc. August 7th was the last day that I felt good. And I know you guys have seen my Facebook and talked to me at the rink. And today is now September 18th. So from August 7th to September 18th, I've had some issues. It started out with passing a stone. Yeah. And I talked to some of you guys that either did pass a stone or knew somebody that passed a stone. And yeah, it's everything you thought and more. So that had me down. And then I found out I had something else going on, and then that led into a prostate issue. Well, prostate, I don't know. It's one of those guy things. There's been all these guy things as you get older. And let me tell you, I could do a medical show on the prostate now that I've learned so much. I've had so many exams on the prostate. I felt like I was in Olympic training for a prostate test. Oh, my gosh. It's been pretty unbelievable. But finally, after 3 medications and not skating for 3 weeks just because of some of the pain, they finally got it under control. I did see a specialist. He checked me out. One more prostate test this week, yes. And he sent me on my way, and things look good. And so I hope to be skating and roughing regularly again. Boy, I miss skating. If you've ever missed a few weeks of skating, you just miss it so much. But so anyway, so that's kind of what's been going on with me. Hopefully now I'm above water after the 40 days of being down. And if you guys see me at the rink or whatever, if you guys know anybody that had that's passing the stone thing, I've heard some of your stories. Oh my gosh, yeah. They say drink lots of liquids and ease off on the caffeines, which is what I'm doing. You never want to pass a stone. Let me tell you, it is. I don't even want to get into it. Anyway, so why don't we take a look at what's going on in the Saturday League as we wrapped up our Saturday summer season last week, and we have the playoffs set, and we'll go into the playoff seedings, the matchups, take a look at some of the teams, and all that good stuff. So let's do that right now. All right, first off, let's take a look at the Saturday standings. Okay, so what we had 2 divisions. We had the Atlantic and the Pacific, and it was at the top of the Atlantic. It was the Diggers at 6-2. We played 8-game season over the summer, so congratulations to the Diggers for taking the top spot in the Atlantic. And then we had the Muck Dogs and Rubber Ducks tied at 4-4, and the Green Jackets and the Pelicans tied at 3-5. So some pretty decent parity in that division. There is an asterisk, though, on the Ducks. Is some reason they just stopped showing up. We only had a couple of guys show up. Of course, it was the guys that we traded to the team that was showing up. All the regulars kind of either got hurt or just vanished or whatever. But so a little asterisk on the Ducks there in the Atlantic Division. Down in the Pacific Division, we had some good teams down there with the Spikes and the Jammers at 7-1. In fact, the Spikes beat the Jammers on the last week of the regular season to hand the Jammers their only loss and actually leapfrog in the first place due to the tiebreaker being head-to-head. So congratulations to the Spikes. First place, Jammers. Second place, Barons at 3-5 and third. And there's another asterisk we'll talk about in a second. And then down the bottom, we had the Flying Squirrels at 2-6 and the Snappers at 1-7. They will meet in the wild card as well. Let's go to before we do the playoff matchups, why don't we take a look at our league leaders in the Saturday division. At the top, it's all Spikes and all Muck Dogs, if you can believe it. Tony Laverty was the top seed. Where's my little thing here for Tony? Yeah, all right. Tony Tenderoni with the Spikes, 27 goals, 16 assists, 43 points, 5 hat tricks, 4 game-winning goal, 2 penalty minutes, everything but a power play goal for Tony. As congratulations on him winning the Saturday League. I can see his draft status going way up next season, don't you? Yes, we do. In the number 2 slot, we have a tie between Greg Wood of the Muck Dogs and Scott Fowler of the Spikes, both with 41 points. So there's my little clapping. Congratulations. Yeah, good job, you guys there. A little asterisk on Fowler. He probably won the scoring title. He's only 2 points behind Tony. He feels that referee John Quigg purposely held back some assists for Fowler this season, costing him the title. So Tony wins, but there's an asterisk down next to Fowler in second place. Just Fowler wanted me to tell you that, by the way. That wasn't me, really. In fourth place, Johnny Hafer of the Muck Dogs, 37 points. And in fifth place, Quiggy. Are you kidding me? 26 points for the Hot Tub, rounding out our top 5. And I'd like to say, new guy, Ryan Burge from the Diggers, pulling out 23 points. We'll talk about him when we talk about the Diggers and Pelicans matchup later. But congrats, Ryan, new guy coming through. Where's my crowd? Yeah, good job, Ryan. Coming up there in 6th spot in his first season. Taking a look now at our goalies. Boy, we had a whole bunch of goalies. We have 10 teams. We had 2 goalies that jumped out, so that gave us 12 full-time goalies now and subs and the whole bit. But if we look at the top 2 goalies, regular goalies, I should say, or even top 3, we had Ryan Hayes of the Spikes coming in, 3.28 goals against. Robbie McHugh of the Jammers, 4.54 goals against. And then Jay Sopp of the Diggers, a little over 5 at 5.26. So there's our top 3 goaltenders. Let's roll now and take a look at our playoff matchup and see what they did when they played each other during the season. Okay, so what we did for the playoffs, just to kind of clarify, is usually what we do is we like to have it by division. So we'll have, the Division A play usually 4 versus 5 plays, and then they play 1, 2 versus 3 plays, and then the winners play out if you followed all that. So basically, you have a wild card game, and then it comes down to 1-4-2-3 matchup. The Ducks and the Barons, they were having some real bad attendance issues, and they were only getting a couple of guys to show up. Now I know it's summer. Guys get jobs, guys get families, guys get injuries, So things happen. We get that. But, when I talked to the captain, I said, look, I don't want to, have a team that was full of subs for so many games. There was sometimes they were showing up with just a couple of guys. So I didn't think it was fair to give them a third slot, or the Ducks or the Barons a third slot, and have one of the teams that has been showing up with their regular crew play in a wild card game. So the decision was made to drop the Ducks and the Barons into a wild card game against each other. And I think that allowed the Jackets? Yeah, it allowed the Jackets to not have to play a wild card game, which was not fair to them or the Pelicans. They were showing up all season long. So basically, the Barons and the Ducks are going to play the wild card game, and the teams that have been showing up will still be in the playoffs, but they're not going to have to play in the wild card game. So that was the decision, and when we made the decision to cross over divisions and create the wild card games between the 2 teams, that I still don't know how many guys are going to show up this weekend. I'm trying to confirm with people, but guys say they're going to be there, then they don't. It happens, so that's why they're going to play each other and get rid of one of the teams with poor attendance early, so we don't have to keep subbing. I don't want to have to keep subbing in the playoffs. I want to try to maintain some integrity, at least for the playoffs. That's why we did this. So then we had to reseed everybody else, almost a 1 through 10, a 1 through 8 after this. So that's why you see the Spikes will play a wild card team as well as the Jammers. They finish 1-2. So let's get down the matchups as we have it. All right, let's kick it off. Where is my sound effect to kick off the playoff previews? All right, kicking things off at 9 a.m., we have the Green Dragons and they are Green Jackets, I should say. The Green Dragons are on Tuesday. Green Jackets taking on the Muck Dogs. Now, these teams met once this season, and it was a high-scoring affair. If you can believe it, the Jackets took this one 13-10. So we could expect the 9 o'clock game to have a lot of goals and a lot of offense and not so much defense. So at 9 o'clock, it's a single elimination game between the Green Jackets and the Muck Dogs. Again, the Jackets taking one early in the season, 13-10. And I don't want to give out point spreads on these teams. That'd be kind of weird. I need a third party to do that. We used to have people that put point spreads on the game, or this team's going to win by 1 or 2. We should do that. I don't think it's right for me to do it. So I need to find somebody to do that. Alrighty. Up next, we have the wildcard game between the Ducks and the Barons. These two teams did not play during the regular season. There's 10 teams, so we play 8-game schedule. So there's one team you're not going to play, and that actually happened to be the Ducks and the Barons did not play. So these teams are brand new to each other, and they could be real brand new depending who shows up. I'm hoping we can at least get close to full squad so these guys can play and have a good game. And so they'll meet up at 10 o'clock, and then right after that, they will play the Spikes. Yep, Spikes are the top team, and they will play the winner of the Ducks and Barons, and that game will take place at 11 a.m. And the Spikes had no problem with either one of these teams. In fact, they played these two teams back-to-back, one Saturday, then the following Saturday. The Spikes first beat the Barons 12-1, and then the following week they beat the Ducks 15-2. So it just goes to show you what could happen when the Spikes take on the wild card winner at 11 a.m. Just saying. Up next, we have another wild card game. It was the Flying Squirrels taking on the Snappers. Once again, these two teams did not play, so we have the wildcard teams meeting against a team that they haven't played yet. So I guess they're going to be one of the few teams that are going to play all 9 teams. So we have the Squirrels, we had the Rizzo and Rizzo combination didn't work out too well at all. In fact, let me take a look at some of the stats. We haven't gone back and looked at some of the teams individually, and we should do that. For the Squirrels, Jay Rizzo was their top scorer, followed by Ryan Rizzo. And after that, it kind of dropped off a bit. I mean, Dave Kruger kicks in with 10 points back on D. And way down on the list, forward, Mark Fury. Maybe he needs to wear more St. Louis Blues jerseys or something to get his scoring up. And maybe he needs to watch some videos of Brett Hull or something. But we need to get him back in the scoring touch. New guy, Seth Drury, picked up an assist this season. He's coming along pretty well. Seth, I like Seth. Seth's a good guy. And they now have Corey Snyder in net, the Squirrels do, after taking over for Spencer. And let me see, for the Snappers, the Snappers are one of these teams that on paper they're not bad. It's just, RVB has been away. Chris McKeel played, one game for them. Cam LeMay finished with 10 points. He's had a decent season for them. Steve Smith, 11 points. Holy cow. I didn't realize Smitty had 11 points for the Snappers. Well, that's the problem right there. You got a guy like Smitty that's got to contribute offense. It's not good. Robbie Richards has been injured part of the season, but he finished with 14 points. He's been snake-bitten this season. 7 goals, 7 assists. I think that's what I had, for crying out loud. It all goes back to the smoothie talk. Remember the smoothie talk? Yeah, Quig knows what I'm talking about. And then at the top of the list, Jimmy Morrill is the leading scorer for the Snappers. 11 goals, 5 assists, 16 points. He had a hat trick and a power play goal. So Jimmy Morrill back on D, leading the team in scoring. That might be the issue with the Snappers, although they did get really good goaltending from Mike Parkinson. So we're looking at Parkinson against Snyder in the goaltending matchup as the Flying Squirrels take on the Snappers. The winner will take on the Jammers. The Jammers defeated both of these teams. Again, the Jammers were 7-1, only losing to the Spikes. In fact, the Jammers were so good, their top pick, Liam, requested to be traded off the team, and we traded him, and then the Jammers still kept winning until that last week. He was replaced with Dennis Burnaby, who's a decent player of his own. So the Jammers and the Spikes played a terrific game to end the season. Spikes actually took it, which dropped the Jammers in a second. So the Jammers will play the winner of the Squirrels and the Snappers, as I just mentioned. They beat them both. The Jammers beat the Flying Squirrels 13.